In this video, we're going to look at graphing and writing the equation of a circle on the coordinate plane. Now, the general form for the equation of a circle is written right here. X minus h squared plus y minus k squared is equal to r squared, where h and k, that is the coordinate of the center of the circle, and r represents the radius. And so to begin with, what we're going to do is we're just going to identify the center, the radius, and we're going to try to sketch the graph. And so we're looking here at this first problem, and we want to find, you start by finding the center. So the center, as long as I have subtraction signs here, my center is just simply going to have the x coordinates of these numbers. So I have a center in this case of 4, 4. And so I'd go put a dot representing my center at 4, 4. And then the next thing to look for is your radius. So the radius is going to be the square root of that number. So 9 is really 3 squared, so my radius in this case is 3. And so what I need to do is the circle is the set of all points that would be 3 units away from the center. And so what I can do is I can go 3 units to the right, put a dot, 3 units up, put a dot to the left, and down. And I'm trying to make a circle that passes through all these points. Now, something you can do to help you is you can make a rectangle in here. And what your rectangle will do is you're trying to be tangent to the edges of the rectangles at those dots that you indicated to kind of help you sketch this the best you can. And so there would be my circle. This one here, similar but different, where I want to start by finding the center. And I look and I have 2 plus signs here. It's supposed to be x minus a number and y minus a number. So what that means is for my center in this case isn't going to be at 4, 4. I was technically subtracting a negative 4 from both the x and the y, because x minus negative 4 is going to make that plus 4. And the same thing with the y. Y minus negative 4 will turn that into a plus. So I have my center in this case will be at quadrant 3, so negative 4, negative 4. And we have a small radius this time, so this number 1 here is the same thing as 1 squared. So my radius is 1 unit. And so we try to make our graph here, and so I'm going to zoom in. And so I try to get 4 points and try my best to sketch to go around all 4. So now let's try to write the equation of the circle. And we're given the center and the radius here. And so I start with the general form. So the general form of a circle is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared is equal to r squared. And h and k come from your center. So my center has an h or an x value of negative 7, so h is negative 7, and a y value of 8, so 8 is going to be my k, and my radius here is 6, so I'm going to put in 6 for r. And in doing that, what we're going to have is we're going to have x minus negative 7, so that turns into x plus 7, so x plus 7 squared, plus, and we'd have y minus positive 8, so y minus 8 squared is equal to r squared. 6 squared makes 36. So there's an equation of the circle with those characteristics. So to write the equation of a circle when given its graph, you're going to start by finding the center of the circle. Now, you might have to eyeball this a little bit to try to find the true center. And what I try to do is I try to find 2 diameter lines. So it looks like here's 1 diameter line. I count the number of blocks, paying attention to my scale, and that's 2 units. And I want to look to make sure I can find a second one of equal length that's going to be perpendicular to it. That is also 2 units long. And so the intersection there would be my center. And so our center here is at positive 3 for an x value, positive 4. And then you go try to find your radius. So your radius here is, in this case, it's 1 unit, because each little block represents a half. So I have a radius of 1. And so now we have our information to plug into our general form of a circle. So x minus h squared plus y minus k squared is equal to r squared. And I put all that information in. So we'd have x minus 3 squared plus y minus 4 squared is equal to 1 squared. And so there's the equation of our circle from the graph.